so that as we learn about these Christians from the past, your goodness and glory may shine through. I pray that through my words will provide comfort and peace to us as we face and have faced all kinds of suffering throughout our lives. Amen. So, as humans, we love a good rags to riches story. But this morning, I want to share a riches to rags one instead. Horatio Spafford was the kind of guy you'd look at and think, I wish that was my life. In a time without Medicare and health insurance, the amount of money you had largely influenced how long you could live. And, well, let's just say Horatio was loaded. He was intelligent enough to study law, and then went on to become both a successful lawyer and senior partner in a large law firm, which gave him enough money to invest in real estate in Chicago. I know housing was cheaper in the 1800s, but I'd be lucky to afford one house in this home. On top of this, he met a lovely woman, Anna Larson, and soon they got married and had 5 children together. They built this family around God and were great models of hospitality, opening their home and supporting evangelists, with all the spare time that they had. Now, this is what most stories end with. The protagonist retires happy with their wealth and family to live a long, prosperous life. Not this one. During the 1800s, epidemics of scarlet fever were common, with hundreds and thousands of people struck with high fevers and full body rashes, and the Spafford family was no exception. Her only son, of 5 children, had a sore throat that for a few days got worse and worse. Despite all the money Horatio could throw at doctors and physicians, this was before penicillin, and there was nothing anyone could do. I can't imagine any situation that would make you feel more helpless than seeing someone get sicker, especially your own child, knowing full well there's nothing you can do, say, or buy that will make them better. Soon Horatio and Anna's son died, aged only 4. This is the kind of grief that just sticks with you wherever you go. The next year, nobody knows exactly how, but a small barn under Coven Street in Chicago caught fire. And as it spread from building to building, it eventually came to the Spafford's property investments. Losing that amount of money on top of everything else, it just left the family in a really rough state. So Horatio thought to himself and decided that a holiday was what this family needed. He arranged for his family to sail to England, and while they were there, to go see the family friend Dwight Moody as he was preaching. But work got busy due to the fires, and he didn't have money to spare, so he sent his wife and 4 daughters ahead, planning to catch up to them when he could. It was the early hours of just another day at sea, but in the horizon, what must have started as just a dot. As it got closer, you could make out the shape of a large iron sailing vessel. And then it got closer, and then closer, and then closer. Whether by poor communication or low vision, the 2 ships collided, and the one carrying the Spafford family sank in 12 minutes. It's just so quick, 12 minutes. I imagine that most of and then there's a large crash. Water starts pouring through the walls. The corridors are flooded. You have to keep track of your 4 children and try to guide them onto the safety rafts. And then a stray piece of wood or something just across the head, and then nothing. Anna was found unconscious, floating on a blanket of wood, but none of her daughters survived. As she and the other survivors were dropped off in Wales, she sent a telegram to Horatio. Saved, alone. What shall I do? Horatio, who'd already lost a son, now had to sail across the same bit of ocean that killed the other four daughters, go and be with his wife, who had also experienced that and had just survived a shipwreck. We don't know if he was traveling alone or not, but we do know that the captain of the ship Horatio got on and heard about his daughters. And as they passed over the spot where his children lay, he let Horatio know. As all this was just in his head, he wrote a poem. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. Though Satan should buffet, though trials should come, let this blessed assurance control, that Christ hath regarded my helpless estate, and hath shed his own blood for my soul. My sin, oh the bliss of this glorious thought, my sin not in part, but the whole, is nailed to his cross, and I bear it no more. Praise the Lord, O my soul. For me, be it Christ hence to live, if dark hours about me shall roll. No pang shall be mine, for in death, as in life, thou wilt whisper thy peace to my soul. Now, in our Christmas campaign, Steve taught us about chiasms, where the top and bottom stanzas of the poem correlate to each other and keep going all the way until a central stanza is here. Isn't that? It's just one big arrow pointing directly at one thing, the gospel. The first stanza says that no matter how well or how poorly your life is going, knowledge and understanding of the gospel is the only source of peace. The second stanza, and that Satan will cause us to lose our way, but God will help us remember that he isn't distant from our pain. When Jesus came to earth, he experienced the worst suffering so that we may find peace. The third stanza reinforces the gospel message that Jesus died for our sin so that we're not weighted down by it. And lastly, stanza 4, no matter how hard life gets, how much hate, misery, and death that the world throws at us, God has made a way so that this story doesn't end with rags, but with riches. Horatio and Anna had a way of noise cancelling Satan's call to curse God for their suffering. They were so attentive to the gospel, the good news of Jesus, that when they were at their lowest, they could shout praises to God. Then Christ hath regarded and helpless estate, and his own blood from the soul.